There, is that better? Can you guys actually hear me now? I really don't like the way this thing works. It doesn't inform me that you can't hear me. Okay, so you can hear me now, and that worked. Okay, good. I'm not going to be going through the idea of trying to do a full reveal right now. That's what I was saying, is that this will take a lot less time. I'm basically just going through a 1961 D roll that's been machine wrapped for a number of years, actually since 1961. And I just found an RPM. I have one RPM here, so I'm going to pull it off to the side. I know I have one RPM out of this roll so far, and we'll just keep looking. And this one looks like it could be another RPM. Let me see. This is what I had thought I was going to be doing on occasion back when I first started doing broadcasts, and I just never really had a whole lot of time for this. But I'm going to make time for it today. I don't think that's an RPM, so I'm going to keep moving. Just seeing what the viability of this group of rolls is, because I have another couple of rolls that came from the same source. And I want to be sure that I'm not offering people rolls that have been rewrapped or anything like that. And I took the one that was in the worst condition out of the three, meaning it looked like it had probably been opened at one point in time. And that was mostly, well, back in the day when people would hold rolls like this out, they would be looking for rolls that they could. There's another one of the same die, I do believe. I'll go back through and I'll make sure that they are later. That people would save these rolls for the idea of being able to sell them later on someday. They never really thought that having them sealed would be a big deal. And here's another one of them. So there's 3 RPMs so far in the first 9 coins, so that's 1/3 of the roll so far. And so there's another one. So when they would open up these rolls, the only reason they'd open them is because they had a tail's end roll and they needed to flip it over and see what the date was. So they thought it was more important to be able to see the date on the end of the roll than it was to actually have a roll that was completely and 100% proven to be sealed. So they didn't really care that much about sealing the rolls. They cared a whole lot more about knowing what the date and mint mark of the rolls were. And so that's what the deal is here. And so I do believe this roll has been opened, but only to flip over the end coin. And it was probably done at some point during 1961 because the end of the roll was toned as I would expect it to be. It had that brown chalky look around the edges with a little bit of color in it, somewhat purplish kind of, bluish. I don't know, don't count on me for color. I'm not a very good person when it comes to color. Let's see. I saw here what could have been an RPM, so I'm going to look a little bit deeper into it. And what I have here, I'll zoom way out and let you guys see. I've got a stick here of ash. It's basically the same thing as a baseball bat. It's a stick of ash that has a 3/4 inch wide flute that's about 3 millimeters deep. And what that does is it allows me to put these coins in a line going up and down it, just like that, so that I can look all the way through the coins that are on my stick. And then I'll be able to drop these off the stick. I don't know, man, what do you think? Is this an RPM or not? What do you think? I've run into it a few different times. Hi, Midnight. I am feeling just a little bit better. Jesse, no known real double die versus or reverses on 1961D. Nothing really good known. Steel bags very hard to find for 1961D. Most of them have been opened. I think Yo Man's still in here. If Yo Man's still in here, take a look at this and see if you think this is an RPM. I think it could be an RPM, which is going to make me go back through the roll and pick out the rest of them. Here, let me give you a different lighting angle. Well, Coin Junkie thinks machine doubling. I don't see any machine doubling. It's definitely not machine doubling. Jesse says RPM for sure. So I guess I'm going to go back and pull the rest of these out here real quick before I keep moving on. So let me back out on the lens so I can see what I'm doing. I'll go back to the beginning of this roll, and I will pull out the ones that I see. Now that I know exactly what I'm looking for, it should be a pretty quick process. There's the first one. And that's not one of them. That's not one. That's not one. This will probably be the second one. Yeah, this is one of them. We'll get it ready for photos a little bit later and be able to see whether or not it really is an RPM just by looking through real carefully at it. That's not one. That's not one. That one is. Get it down here at this angle and see it. Yeah, that's another one of them. I'm really starting to doubt that it is an RPM, but let's go through and take a look at it anyway. Hello, Kelly. Hello, Sir Gold. That's definitely one of them. And let's see. We got this one. Yeah, that is. That's the one that made me stop and ask the question. So now we keep going. This coin we haven't seen yet. That's another one of them. And let's see. Nothing there. And I think that's another one of the first kind of RPM that we've been. Yeah, that's the first kind of RPM we've been finding out of the roll. If anybody wants to give a shot at taking a look and seeing if they can find the particular die to which these coins belong, I would be more than happy to accept any suggestions. There's another one of them. It's another one of the first die. Hello, Buffalo Joe, and Happy New Year to yourself as well. Coming up here in just a couple of days. I've had a hard go of it this week. I've slept a lot the last few days. I guess I needed it. Okay, that's another one of the minor ones. One of the die number 2, I guess I would call it. Get that set up to the side. And okay, nothing there. So out of 25 coins, I have 3, 6, 9, 11 remaining. So that's out of 25 coins. Got 11 remaining. Now let me get my next half of the roll set up. I've already been through half the roll, see? And this has been, what, 5 to 10 minutes? Takes a lot less time to go through a roll when you're not worried about who gets what coin, when you're just doing it. And these just came out of a sealed machine wrapped roll from 1961. And so at the end of this, we're going to try to identify, at least attempt to identify, the 2 different dies that we have so far been finding in this lot. So I wonder if Eric Beyer is around. Hey, Wanda, Brian Pruitt, Joe McBride. We've been through half the roll so far. We're going through the other half now. We are just doing a roll hunt. It's not really a reveal. Not that much exciting in this roll so far, but we're kind of digging for it. See if we can find it, whatever it might be. There's another one of the second, the more minor die. You can see the little thing sticking off the bottom of the upper serif. That's been something that we've kind of been paying attention to. So there's another one. Let's see, what are you? What are you? You're normal. It's that big die scratch up above the 1. I think this last coin here also has that. Yeah, same die. So these are not what we're looking for. Here's another one of the ones that we are looking for. This is the first die with the big heavy split lower serif. So this one will come out nice. Yeah, the horizontal DRPM would be very nice, but I don't think we're actually going to go anywhere with that today. Not in this roll anyway. I may do another 61D roll later on, and I may actually do a reveal roll. I like these because it's so much faster, and I don't have to be online as much. I am still having a bit of an issue with dizziness and other slight little spells that I would prefer not be on camera for very long. But just for the face police, the people police, I have showered and I am clean today. Yay! I think I went the entire day yesterday without showering because I slept almost the entire day. There is another one. So we've got a bunch of these. Got a nice little horde of RPMs in this particular roll. I'm not going to have an auction tonight. I may do a reveal or two, but I'm not going to have an auction. Just not doing well enough to stay on camera for that long right now. But I should be better by the 1st, and if I need to take a break then, we can chop it up into bits or whatever needs to happen. There we go. Trying to get this back on camera. And if it turns out that we do an auction on the 1st, I have to be feeling good for a full day before I decide to do that. I will make sure that you guys know with a reminder that it will be happening, and it will be a couple of hundred coins that I'll have up for auction. It'll all be individual coins. Everything will start at 25 cents. So basically no minimum bid, increments of 25 cents. And there will be a number of coins that are worth in excess of $15 to $20. We're not talking about junk coins. Now, some of them aren't going to be all that nice. I mean, some of them aren't going to be the best coins in the world, but it's a large offering to a large audience, hopefully, where there may be beginners, people who want to get started in collecting, and they'll be able to get started on their set very cheaply. Very inexpensive start. That's another one of the second die right there. And we have a total of 3 coins left in the roll. One of them is the first die. This is the first die that we were looking through. Thank you, Marshall. I appreciate that, sir. You guys are my brothers and sisters. I wouldn't let you down. I'm doing everything I can to make it better. Okay, this one looks like it could be. It looks like it could be an RPM with a bar on the inside of the mint mark. It is. It does appear to be an RPM with a bar on the inside of the mint mark, and I have not seen one of these yet in this roll that I know of. You can't see it from that angle. But from this angle, it was making itself known. It does appear to be an RPM, but I'll have to take a better look at it when I can get it under the dual eye microscope look. I'm going to be doing that here pretty soon. So I pulled that off to the side, and it's the last coin in the roll. Out of that 25 coin, half roll, I turned up with what is this, 14 coins. So 11 coins had RPMs, 14 coins did not. So we're still almost half the roll. Do I have COPD? Because I do, and feeling those symptoms. It could be hypoxia, it's lack of oxygen in the brain. No, I don't have COPD. I have diabetes, and I am addicted to sugar, and I have problems with my ability to curb my sugar appetite And that is a very dangerous thing when you have diabetes, and my diabetes has run out of control. And so I'm trying to work on gaining control of it by drinking a lot of water and eating non-sugar foods. Um, oops, something happened. Hang on here. I don't know what that was all about. I'm still looking at picture on the microscope. So, but anyway, I've done what I could to start working on controlling this and getting everything under tabs. So we'll just have to wait a few days and see how that works out before I schedule an appointment with the doctor to see if anything else needs to be done. I think if I watch my diet for a few days, I think I'll be okay. So, looking like I'll probably come out of this. Okay, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. I have 12 of these. 12 of them have come out of the roll. And this is what it looks like. This is just one of them. It's a nice little repunch mint mark. Let me get the lighting set straight. There's better lighting for you. And get it zoomed in to the mint mark itself. Well, I wasn't falling. And the sleeping is also a sign that your blood sugar is running out of control, which was my case. I've tested my blood sugar and it's way too high. So that's my issue. I don't have hypoxia. I appreciate it, but I don't have hypoxia. And get this. Move down to where we can look at it. Okay. Now there it is. That's the first RPM that I've been looking. What would I be looking for next to the Y in Liberty? Anything particular that you can knock out right away? Let me know what I'd be looking for. The heck is that? Let me move another one over. Get a second one here so that we can take a look at two of them at two different angles. Okay, there's one at one angle, and here is another one, slightly different angle. Looks like we got something odd. I appreciate it, Kelly Ray. I will be working on this for sure. No die scratch, not number 77. Okay, let's see if maybe another angle might help us. Who knows? Let me do my careful tip and focus job if I can. Hang on, get back here. Quit crawling away from me. There we go. There's a really good look at the next to the Y. It's going to crawl around on me just a little bit because I'm holding it with my hand, believe it or not. Okay, that was the best I could do there. Well, one thing about the few days is I want to see if it improves any with a few days of actually, because I mean the very first thing the doctor is going to tell me is, have you been checking your blood? No. Have you been on a diet? No. Well, then there's your problem. So, I need to make sure that there is at least some possibility of a upturn in my situation so that they can see that my problem is getting better and encourage me to keep going, I guess. I mean, right now, the way things are, there's just no way that I can, I can make anything different than it is, and they're not going to be able to tell me anything because I haven't been following the regimen that I should. So here I go, on my way to following the regimen, and as soon as I get ready to follow a regimen and do the right thing, is not a good time to be scheduling an appointment with the doctor, because they're going to tell me the exact same thing I already know. So it's just a matter of, get on the right track. greenmedinfo.com. I read articles there on magnesium. Okay. All right, I will do that. So this RPM right here, I don't know which one it is right now, but I'm willing right here and right now to put these in flips with people's names on them. If anybody wants to give me a $5 bill for one of these, if you want to give me a $5 bill, it's a $5 bin. If anybody wants to do a bin on these at $5, I have, 5, 10, 12 available. 12 available. Anybody wants to do a $5 bin. What I'll do is I will stick these in flips with your name. They're all about the same condition because, well, they came out of the same roll at the same time. So let me go ahead and start writing. Let's see, I've got Yeoman at 5. I've got Joe McBride. I've got Midnight. And see, I already got you on there, Yo Man. So now I've got Brian Pruitt, wants one. Hey, Chuck. Got Chuck who wants one here. Deanne is here. Hey, Deanne. And let's see, Adam wants one. Okay. So I've got a few of these. Let's see, there's Yeoman. Then I've got Joe McBride, Midnight Silver Run, Brian Pruitt, Chuck Patillo, Deanne Hatton, Adam Chambers. Anybody else? Okay, anybody else wants one of these? Looks like I've got 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 spoken for, so I've got at least 5 remaining. Yeah, I've got about five remaining that I can sell to anybody who wants one of them. I'll take these off of here now and put them on the stack over. What I'm going to do is I'm going to identify these, get one of them photographed, and add these to the, I'll probably just send you a no postage invoice on these so you can get them paid for, and then I'll send them with your next package so it doesn't cost you any shipping. That's what I'll do. They're $5, Coin Junkie. And let's see, Wanda wants one. Now it's the 1 RPM. CMS Omaha. Let's see. Yeah, just let me know if you want one of those, and then I've got this other one that I'm going to take a closer look at. I'm not really sure right now whether or not these are actually RPMs. CMOS Omaha could give me an opinion. Let me get these back on here so I can put them under the scope and show CMOS Omaha. He may have a good opinion as to whether or not this is an RPM. I can't really tell with what I'm looking at right now. Hang on a second, let me get one in here. There it is. Alright, so CMOS, what do you think? Is this an RPM? I'm beginning to think it is by looking at it now. My problem is that I don't really see much of a bottom serif. I see a top serif split, but I don't see much of a bottom serif split. Hey, Jim. I'm kind of thinking RPM. I don't know, anybody want to give me their opinion on whether this is an RPM or just, I don't know, something like Dieware or some other weirdo something? Okay, CMUS says he likes it for an RPM. Yoman already said he liked it for an RPM, and I really kind of trust the judgment of the two of you because you've been doing this for a while, and I know that you guys have come up with a number of things that you're showing people in a number of different groups and places. So I think I'm going to go ahead and say that this is probably an RPM. Hawkeye says it definitely is one. Jim Fletcher says it looks like an RPM to him too, and Adam Chambers. So I'm going to say, okay, yeah, this is an RPM. So given that this is an RPM, I'm going to get it identified and figure out what it is. But I have 5, 10, I have 11 of these available. I have 11 of these available. That's here, let me get another one up under the scope. This is a different one right here. Same die. I never can drive these things right when my camera is all sideways. The camera's all cattywampus. I can't get it centered under the camera. Okay. So there's this one. Here, let me move it over some so it stays in the middle of the stick. I've got a big stick of ash underneath this. It's about 2 feet long. If I let go of it in the wrong place, it'll tip up and dump all my coins. So I don't want that to happen. So there's that. Last night you found a 61 DFS 501. Very nice, Kelly. Very nice. CMUS drops the mic. That's right. Sure does. I'm going to pause the vid and look for a listing. You don't have to pause it. I mean, you can, of course, if you've already got it paused, you're not going to hear me say you don't have to pause it. But I'll just leave it sitting right here for a while. And since I have 12 of these available, I'm going to do these at $4 because it's not quite as impressive in RPM. So at $4, I've got $5 for the first one and $4 for this one. So you can just say bin on this one. And we'll go back to the other one after I get finished with this. Anybody who wants one of these can bin it now. I think that could be a split on the bottom. I'm not really sure. It doesn't really look very good. But I mean, it's got to be there. If the top is a split, the bottom has to have a split too, just a little bit. So Joe McBride wants one. And then Yoman. These are at $4 a piece. And Brian Pruitt will take one. Kelly Ray, you asking about this, or are you asking about the RPM number 1? The RPM number 1, it would make a big difference on the condition and the die state of the coin. I'd almost have to see it to be able to evaluate its value for you. These generally retail value for 1961 DRPMs is between $5 and $8 depending on condition. Yeah, Joe, I can do that. Okay, and Wanda. Midnight Silver Run. I'll send it to him, Joe. I've got other stuff I already need to send to him, so I've got mail from the last 2 auctions that I need to get out of here. Plus, I've got a number of reveal coins I need to get through. So he's likely got some in that, and I'll be able to get them to him. I appreciate it, Joe. Thank you. Let's see, what do I have here? I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 accounted for, and I have a total of 7 remaining. Now on this other RPM, here, let me take this down for a minute. I'll take this down and I'll have one of each RPM up here on the screen for you guys to take a look at. I can't get both of them to fit at the same time, but I'll get one of each up there anyway. Now I've got this RPM is the one that we just finished talking about. This RPM here was the first one that we found in the roll. The first one that we found in the roll, I have, how many coins did I say I had? 2, 3, 4, 5. I got 10 for sale. 10 for sale, and how many did I see? I had 10 for sale. And what do I have here? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 are spoken for. I can sell 2 more of number 1. I don't know what the actual die number is on this yet, but I will find that out after the video is over. I'll figure out exactly what the die numbers are on these. Can I do another one of the number 1 for Thomas? Yeah, sure, I'll do that. Is that what you're asking for, Joe? Okay, Jim wants one. And that's one of the number 1. Okay, Joe, I'll do that. One of the number 1s for Thomas. Okay, I think that's about going to wipe out those. Let me see. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Yeah, that's all I can sell of the number 1. That's all I've got left. And so then the number 2 die in here. So these are sold out. And now these little guys right here. Where are you? There we go. Trying to operate this thing with one hand is not so easy. There we go. I've got these now. I've got, how many coins did I say I had for sale? So 5, 10, 11 of them for sale. Got 11 for sale. And 6 of them are gone. $4. $4. These are $4. Hey, Farm Dog. I just did a roll dig, went through a roll, and I found 2 different RPMs, and I found a number of each of them. So I'm selling, I already sold out on the other one that I had been finding, and I'm selling these at $4 a piece. $4 a piece for this RPM. I will identify it and send it to you. Identify it, do a proper flip insert for you, and send it to you. This is going to be, I think this is going to be a regular feature of Copper Coins this coming year, is I'm going to be just picking out a roll, going through the roll, and if we find anything in it, then I'll sell what's in the roll. Of course, I can't identify it while we're going through it unless it's a major die variety, and these I cannot identify right now, but I will be able to identify them within the next 30 to 40, I could have about 3 to 4 days. I'll get them identified, get them mailed out. But this one I do still have a couple of examples left at $4. This was an original B roll that I opened up. Came out with about 10 or 11 examples of each of the 2 different RPMs that I found in this roll. Get this focused down a little bit better. That's focused better. But so that's what I've got. You like this idea? That's really cool. Okay. I appreciate that. I said they're not going to be numbered. There's not going to be anything special. I'm not going to be able to. Okay, Hawkeye wants one of this RPM 2 for this roll. Got you on the list, sir. Thank you very much. And so what I'm going to end up doing is I'm probably going to be going through more different roles over the period of time, say over the next month. I'll go through more roles and see how this works out. It's something I'll just pick it up and choose to do it sometime. I'm probably going to curtail the number of roles that I'm doing for role reveals at the current time, simply because, yes, that is Sherman snoring. Because I've got so many piled up now, it's going to take me a little while to get through all of them, and I know you guys don't like waiting really long. You understand what I'm doing and what I'm going through in trying to get all these ready. So I know it's not that big of a deal, but I like to be able to get these to you within, a week or two. Farm Dog, I did not actually put out notices on this. I didn't put out an email or anything. I just started broadcasting with nobody on, and then everybody just started showing up. So you didn't really miss anything. I mean, you missed me going through the row and pulling these out, but other than that, you haven't really missed anything. So Farm Dog gets one of the die number 2, which is the one that's under the scope right now. And let me count what I've got available again, and count what I am promising out to be sure that I'm not overselling. I have 11 available, and I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 purchased. I have 8 purchased and 11 available. Jim, just in case you were not aware, I do not have you on the list for this one. And Chuck Daughtrey, I do not have you on the list for this one. Wait a minute. Jim, did you bought a number 1, didn't you? Yeah, okay, I got it on there. I got you the number 1. So for the number 1, I've got one going to Yeoman, one for Joe, one for Midnight, one for Brian, one for Chuck Daughtrey, one for Deanne, Adam Chambers, Wanda Williams, and then Joe bought one for Thomas, and then Jim Fletcher. And that's all I have in those. And then in the number 2, which is the one I'm showing right now, I have one for Farm Dog, Hawkeye, Midnight Silver Run, Wanda, Joe for Thomas, Brian Pritt, Yeoman, and one for Joe. That's 8 total, and I had 11 available. Sure, I can show it. It's right here. I had a few of these available, but they're all sold now. I have to keep one for the records here, and then the remainder of what I found I'm selling. Not to my knowledge. I don't think he did come back, and he, I think, was he gave the opinion that he thought it was an RPM, but I don't think he looked up which one. He was pausing the video to try to find it, but I haven't seen him since then. Okay, Jim, I'll get you on the list for a number 2. The rabbit ear variety. Which one is that? This one? Or this one is the rabbit ear variety? I think I would probably come closer to calling this one a rabbit ear variety. It looks like it has a floppy ear. And he was going to go look for both of these. So, not really sure. But we'll be doing this a little more frequently. I've got another roll if you want to go through another roll now. Just let me know if you guys want to go through another roll now, and we'll do it. I'm doing okay right now, so I can be up for a little bit longer. But after one more roll, I'll end up having to go. Okay, so let me get these put in their respective stacks. Okay, hang on just a second. Let me grab another roll. Okay, back. It didn't take long because they're literally laying right behind me. So I'll pick this one apart. Can't really show you the roll because, well, I don't have that camera set up here. But it's okay. You guys know it's an older one of those pink Satley wrappers. If you guys will look on the Copper Coins page, I bought over 100 rolls of 1961D. I got them in, and I separated them by source of roll to make sure that I had some idea of what to expect out of these rolls. Okay, got this one open. And I get the coins out onto the board. One of these days I'll have to take a picture of what I'm doing here so you guys can actually see what's happening. Some people have told me this is kind of cool, but what I do is I lay the coins out on a board that is cut long enough to fit 25 coins. And I lay them in a groove that's been fluted out of the center of the board. So the board itself is like a 1 by 1.5. And then of that 1.5, I take out 3/4 in the middle and create a flute going all the way down the board that is, I don't know, maybe 2 or 3 millimeters deep. And what that does is it allows me to lay all the coins out in a row on the board and go through them under my scope in one fell swoop. That way, if I'm not really talking to anybody or trying to educate anybody, just trying to look through the coins, I can actually make it through an entire roll inside of 2 minutes and not miss anything because I can see everything under the scope. But usually I'm looking under the scope and not at my screen. Usually I'm looking through them quickly just to get it done. I'm not stopping to educate anyone. Okay, here we go. This is the second roll, folks. So we should expect to find completely different stuff in this roll than with the last one. Yep, got to move in further. And move my light up. And I got to focus. Looks like a really nice RPM like that, huh? Got to focus it. There we go. I got to get my light straight again. Okay, there we go. Got nothing there on the first coin. Second coin. Doesn't look like I have anything there. Let me get it turned around so that I can see the bottom of it better. This is machine doubling. It's just a little bit of machine doubling. Interesting, it kind of looks like a double die, but there's no known double dies for 1961D obverse. Nothing that would affect this area anyway. No luck at Kaneka or copper coins on that RPM, and haven't any WRPM that aren't already cross-referenced with either. Check the die stages for anything similar. Nothing. Okay. Well, that means that my job is going to be that much more difficult. Thank you. Let me know. I mean, that works. At least you tried, and I appreciate it. I have a special reference that I can use to see if there's any Wechsler number that comes close to any of these. Hey, there we go. There's a nice one. This, I believe, is RPM number 38. I think it's RPM number 38. Anybody would want to look it up for me? I'd be more than happy to entertain any suggestions as to what it is, but I do believe it's RPM number 38. Brian says bin. Jim says bin. Let me go through first and find out what I've got, and then we'll come back and we'll talk about that after I get finished with the roll. So here's another coin. Here, let me back out on this because it makes it a lot easier for us to do this if I back out, and so that I've actually got some good focus on the area and we can see everything. So here's another. This one's got a little die issue between the 6 and the 1 of the date. I'm tilting the coin up with my hand, and I'm going to focus in because I find that the lighting is better when it's tilted a little bit. There you can see a little die crack between the 6 and the 1 of the date. That's kind of cool. Okay, and let me go back through the rest of the roll, see what's going on here with the rest of the roll. We only found 1 RPM so far, but it's been a pretty nice one. Okay, this one looks like it could be a very minor upper serif RPM, but I'm not really concerned about it because it's not something I think I'm going to list. Yeah, it just kind of disappears when you turn it around in the light, so not going to worry about that one. And this, nothing. And that, nothing. And that, nothing. This may be one of those rolls where we only find 1 RPM, but it's a nice one. Who knows? Hopefully we find a number of copies of it. A number of different examples of the same RPM is always a good thing to have. Need trade bait or something to sell. There it is. Let's see. Just looking for more of that RPM number 38 as it would appear. Was it RPM number 38? Yeah, 38. Okay. Coin Junkie says 38 looks good. I did that from memory. I've seen a few of those, so it's a very nice RPM. I really like it. There's another one that looks like it may have a little line in the center of the mint mark. Let's see. Yeah. Well, I guess it kind of looks like it does, but I wouldn't call the shot on one at this late die state. I'd have to see an earlier die state of it with markers to be able to tell for sure, because it kind of just disappears when you turn it a little bit. Don't like that. I don't like the ones that disappear quickly, because then that tells me that I'm looking at an anomaly that deals with light and how well a coin is lit and not a true RPM. That's kind of what it tells me. So I want to be sure that I'm looking at something that I know at least I'm going to be able to see it when I look at it next time. Or that if I find another coin somewhere else in a different roll that's the same die, I want to be able to identify it for sure. I don't want to be left with the idea that I'm not going to see another one. So there we have it. Well, so far, not a second example of that RPM number 38. So far, not a second one shows. Come on, light. Quit playing stupid games with me. There we go. And still not another one. And still not another one. And there's one right there. There's another one. Last coin in this half of the roll. Awesome. So we got 2 of them so far. I'm going to sweep off the rest of these. Get started on the second half. And get this half up on the stick and get it spread out so that we can see all of them. You'll hear me doing this. The first thing I'm doing is I'm laying out the 25 coins on the stick. So I get the 25 coins laid out in the flute and I start flipping them all over so they're all facing the same direction. With these I flip them all face up. I usually do the side that I want to see first. This roll had an extra coin in it, so there's 26 coins on this half. So now what I'm doing is I'm twisting all the coins around so the light will be hitting them the same way so that when we see additional RPMs we will know what we're looking at. So I'm literally using my dry little finger to actually twist and turn the coins around so that they're all facing the same direction on the stick. It's now got the same side flipped up, now I'm just turning them. When I get finished with that, then I just lay the stick up on the scope and start going through it. And I'm a little bit too close. Let me move back a little bit more. There we go. And to start, nothing. Next coin, nothing. Next coin, nothing. Next coin, nothing again. I don't know what that line down there is, but it appears to be damage on the die. It's too long to be a D, so I just haven't really been paying attention to it. Nothing. Another nothing. Another nothing. Stick is still heavy to one side. Another nothing. Oops. Slow down, paint. That one looks like it could be a possible, but I'm not going to worry about it for now. Another nothing. Another nothing. Another nothing. And another. Hey, get back here. Nothing there. Nothing there. Well, let's see. We're going to get another 28 or no? Or 38, I'm sorry, 38. Going to get another 38 or no? Come on, RPM 38, that's what we're looking for. Nope. 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 No, sir. There's one. Right there. So we have another one. It's a total of 3 so far. Got 2 coins left in this roll. This is one of them. And then the very last coin was the roll end coin, and it's nothing. So there we go. Hello, Thomas Womack. Okay, so most of this roll didn't produce much of anything, but we have 3 RPM number 38s in here. And those 3 RPM number 38s they all look to be about the same condition. So I'm going to back way off of them so you can see the best majority of the side of the coin. Okay, there's one of them. Looks okay, got a few little minor spots here and there. The second one here, this one was actually on the end of the roll and came out a little bit toned. Okay, and then here's the third one. Kind of like number 1 there, it's got a few little spots on it here and there, and that's about it. So we've got this one. So what I'll do with these, because there's only 3 of them, there's not really enough available for a number of people, I'll go ahead and just start opening the bid on it. So we can open the bid here at $3. Anybody want to give me a $3 bid? Anybody with a $3 bid? Anybody $3 bid? No, this is a bid. Bidding $3, Joe. Bidding $3 to start. Anybody want to start me at $3? This is an auction. Okay, we got a bid of 3, now a bid of 5. Now a bid of 5, now a bid of 6. A bid of 6, anybody 6 1/4. 6.25, anybody 6.25? Got a 7, Deanne. And Joe bids an 8. $8 bid. $8 bid now 8.5. 8.5, anybody bid 8.5? I'm going to bring it down and focus in on the mint mark here for you so you can see that this one does indeed have a nice looking RPM. I've got it tilted in my hand a little bit so it's not going to show up as easily as we'd want it to. I do believe this is a D over D over D. I think the lower serif is split as well as that one to the southeast. Okay, got a DN bid of 8.5. Got a Joe McBride bid of 9. Got a bid of 9. Look, a bid of 9.5. Remember, I've got 2 more of these. They're not in the same condition as this one, but I've got 2 more of them. Joe's bid of 9. Bid of 9 now. Look at 9.5. Anybody 9.5? Gonna go once at 9. Now twice at 9. Look, a bid of 9.5. Anybody 9.5? Alright, we're going to be sold to Joe. $9. Sold to Joe. Thank you, sir. Let me go ahead and get this one off the stick on a card for Joe. Okay, I've got that here for Joe. Now I've got another one, and this one is a different coin, same die. I'm going to start the bidding at $3. Anybody want to start at $3? $3 bid, give me a start. Anybody $3 bid? $3 bid? Anybody $3 bid? $3 bid on this one. DN bids an 8. Got a bid of 8. Now looking bid of 850. Anybody bid of 850? Looking for a bid of 850? Anybody on a bid of 850? No bid of 850? Going once now at 8. Looking a bid of 850 now. Twice now, a bid of 8. And we're sold. $8. Thank you, Deanne. Alright, Deanne on this one. There we go. Now the very last one I have of this roll, of this particular die anyway. We back out on it some. Here's a new one. I'm going to start this one at $3. Anybody want to start me $3 on this one? This one's pretty much the same condition as the first one I put out there. It does have a few spots on it, just like the first one did. I'll start this one at $3. Anybody want this at $3? Start me off at $3. Alright, Coin Junkie $3 bid. Now Brian at 8. Brian Pruitt at $8. At $8 bid. Looking bid $8.50 now. Anybody $8.50? Got Midnight at 9. Midnight at 9. Looking bid at $9.50 now. Anybody $9.50? Anybody bid at $9.50? This is the last and final one I have available. Brian Pruitt goes $9.50 now. Midnight at 10. I do believe this is RPM number 38, yo man. Found it in this roll just now. Yo man bid a 13 now. Got a bid of 13, looking bid of 14. Got a bid of 13, looking 13.5, 14. Anybody 13.5, 14? Midnight at 14. Brian, they're going deep in the pockets today. Got a bid of 14 now, looking bid of 14.5. Anybody bid of 14.5? Got a bid of 14 now, looking bid of 14.5. Anybody 14.5? Going once down to Midnight at $14, looking for a bid of 14.5. Anybody bid of 14.5? I got to keep this thing tilted up a little bit. Is it RPM 38, yo man? Twice now, a bid of 14.5. Now I got Brian Pruitt at 14.5. 14.5 now, looking at 15. Anybody bid of 15? Look at bid of 15. Anybody bid of 15? Got Midnight at 15 now. Midnight at 15, need a bid of 15.5. Anybody 15.5? Look a bid of 15.5 now. I think he wants it, Brian. That's what that usually means, I think. 15? Looking at 15.5. Anybody 15.5? Once now, $15. Midnight's overrun at $15. Going once. One twice now, Midnight's overrun at $15. Now Brian says 15.5. 15.5 now, looking 16. Anybody 16? Anybody with a bid of 16? I'm going to go ahead and focus this in so I'm not trying to make you seasick. And go ahead and let it rest on the board. Get it in there at rested on the board. Midnight now at 16, looking 16.5. $16 bid now, looking 16.5. Anybody 16.5? There we go. Good lighting on that one. Sir Gold now $17. $17 bid, Sir Gold. Looking bid of 17.5. Anybody give me a bid of 17.5? Anybody 17.5? Now 18 for Midnight Silver Run. Midnight Silver Run $18. 18.5 now. Anybody give me a bid of 18.5? Anybody 18.5? Now 19, Sir Gold. I tell you what. Here's what I'm going to do. Instead of all this, I am going to let Sir Gold have this one at $10. Okay, now I'm going to go through another roll from the same source. If we go through another roll from the same source, we should run into more number 38s. If we run into more than number 38s, Brian will have the first right of refusal on the first one. So we'll do it that way. Sorry, Midnight, I'll give you first right of refusal on the next one, and then Brian will get next in line. So this one's going to go to Sir Gold at $10. Now, with you guys bidding above $10, what I'll do is on the next roll, if we find any of them and they're not damaged or they're not otherwise messed up, I'll sell those at $10 flat. Bid $1 to start on the balance of the roll. Balance of the roll being what, the other coins that we've already looked at? Is that what you're talking about, Jim? I mean, because I'll send you both rolls for $1. $1 get it started. Anybody want to start the bid? It's going to be, I don't know, what, about 70 coins? 60 to 70 coins. It's going to make more than a full roll of 61D. We'll start it at $1. Anybody want to start at $1? $1 bid? Jim says he's got a $1 bid now. I need a 1 1/4, 125. Got a bid of $1, look a bid of 125. So anybody give me a bid of 125. 125 on the remainder of the coins out of these rolls. 125. In fact, I'll throw the remainder of the third roll in too, because we're going to go through a third roll. 3 1/4. Is that what that is? 3Q? 3 1/4. Oh, okay, Adam says 2. Now Hawkeye says 3. So I've got the remainder, whatever remains out of 3 rolls that we have basically horked all the RPMs out of. So we know that there's not really any varieties on the obverse of the RPM area. There could still be bar L's, there could still be double die reverses, but that would be a very rare thought. So Jim's got a bit of 4 now, got a bit of 4 on the remainders of 3 rolls. Got a bit of 4, look a bit of 4 1/4. Anybody 4 1/4, look a bit of 4 1/4. Hawkeye I think's going to bid a 5. I think that was a 5. Or is it 59 coins? Okay, Jim Fletcher, your bid is still current at $4, so I'm going to leave it at $4. $4, look at 4 1/4 now. Anybody give me a 4 1/4, 425. Anybody with a 425? Anybody 425, 425 bid? Anybody 425? No 425, I'll count it down at $4. I'm going to count it down at $4. Now we got Hawkeye at 7. Hawkeye is $7, $7 looking 7 1/4 now. Anybody 7 1/4, 725. Anybody at 725, looking bid at 725. Got a bid of 7, look a bid of 725, now 750. Jim Fletcher, 750, now looking 775. Anybody 775? Got a bid of 750, look a bid of 775. Anybody out there with 775? Nobody 775? Let's go ahead and start counting down now to Jim Fletcher. Oh, once now to Jim Fletcher, $7.50, $7.50, looking for a bid of 775. Anybody with a bid of 775? Twice now, Jim Fletcher at 7.5, looking for a bid of 775. Hey Jim, you just retracted your bid. What does that mean? You were bid at 750. There we go, 750. All in, all done, folks. It's your second, last, and final call. 750. Looking bid at 775. Anybody 775? Sold. Jim Fletcher, 750. Thank you, Jim. So I will put you down for the remainders of 3 rolls. We're getting ready to get another one of those rolls with the 38s, or we think the 38s. Okay, gotcha. Here we go. Hang on just a second. Okay, I've got a third roll out now. This third roll is from the exact same source. The wrapper is identical to one that I just opened that had the 1961D RPM number 38 in it. So we're going to see if we can find more RPM 38s out of this roll. I might do a 53D roll dig. Depends on how popular these get. I've just got the roll open, so let me go ahead and get the coins out of it. Not mix them up with anything else I've already opened. Wouldn't want to do that. This one looks just as good as the other rolls did, so for quality I think we're doing okay. Alright, get this together and get my next stack of coins ready to go through. Hopefully we're going to find more of those RPM 38s. And after this, folks, I gotta run. I gotta go. I gotta start working on something for dinner for the wife for when she comes home, because I am not going anywhere. Not going out to dinner, that's for sure. So gotta have something to munch on. I really wish I had veggies right now. I got carrots down there, I guess, but I'm talking about like collard greens or something like that. And I'd love to have some real veggies right now. Real veggies with a little bit of hot sauce. Oh yeah. I might sound like a northerner, but deep down inside, I'm a southerner at heart. I've got one with a big spot on it. I can see the big spot from just looking at it. Hopefully that's not going to be a divorite inch. It's going to turn out to be another coin. Because if that turns out to be just another coin, then we won't mourn the fact that it got itself tangled up with some carbon. All right, here we are back in the roll. This is the first coin from the next roll out, and I'm going to have to zoom down, way down, down deep. There we go. There we go. All right, there's the first coin. And the second one, we're looking for RPM number 38, thinking that we may actually run into some. But so far, this roll seems to be proving that it's different dies. This one looks like it's different dies altogether. May not have any 38 in it. Then again, it could be loaded with them, so just gotta wait and see. Not really an RPM there. Doesn't look like I have anything going on there either. So I'm looking at the same die over and over again. I'm thinking I'm catching little things, but I'm actually not. Same one again. Let's see. Nothing there. Looks like we might shoot a blink on this one. It almost looks like it's from a completely different source. But the wrapper was identical to the other one where the RPM 38 was. We'll keep digging. We've got this, and there's the one with the big spot on it. That does happen from time to time. You end up getting a coin that has a big spot on it in a roll. No really good explanation as to why that one does and no others do. But that one was very noticeable. Hey, there's that die again, so maybe we will have a 38 in here somewhere. RPM 38, where are you? There's the one with the die crack between the 6 and the 1 of the date. So we do have another example of the same source of coins. Just 38 tends to be a little bit difficult to find in here. Okay, we've been through the first half of the roll with nothing. First half of the roll with no results. So Jim's going to get a full first half of the roll there. Let me see the second half. I'll put these in tubes for you, Jim. I'll get them to you in tubes. Let's see here. This is one of those rolls that actually had an extra coin in it. This one doesn't. But that second roll actually had an extra coin in it. That was weird. I poured out 25 coins the first time, and then the second time I got 26 coins. When I get 26 coins, I really don't have a good place for it. It'll fit, but barely. If anybody's really interested, the linear measurement of my stick is 20 inches. I just did that. Out of the goodness of my heart, in case anybody wants to make one, it's going to be a 1.5 by 1. And you plane it down to, I'm going to say, oh gosh, it's probably 3/8 of an inch thick. 3/8, maybe a ½ inch thick. I wouldn't go too thick on it. And it is fluted in the center, going all the way down the length of the board. 3/4 of an inch flute, just a couple of millimeters deep. Alright, here's the second half of that same roll. Let's do something with a little bit of luck attached here. Somebody needs to spit in their hand and shake or something. I don't know what it is, but we need a little bit of luck, because we didn't get anything out of that first half of the roll. Here's one. There we go, right there. There's one. There's a number 38. I knew I'd run into a 38 in this roll because it was identical to the last roll we just opened. And let's see. I never know what we're going to get, though. This could have been a roll full of 38s. It could only have one in the entire roll. I would like to see 3 come out of here, but it may not happen. There's 2. There's my second one, right there. So that's 2 out of this roll. Now I'm going to have to try to find a third one. Hey, Jess. Other than the fact she likes to put raisins in banana bread and that she likes to watch snow, she's a pretty good kid all around. She only got dropped on her head a couple of times. There we go, Jim. You know more than I do. A dado? I guess it would be a dado. I don't know if we used a dado or not. I guess we did. There's my uncle doing most of the actual hard work on this. Also add in there that it was made of ash. Ash is a very good, solid, hard wood. That once you start getting it polished down with your oils, hey, there you go. There's a third one right there. Oop, which coin was that? Was it this one? Nope, not this one. It was this one. Okay. Second to the last coin in the roll, we get our third, number 38. And on the end of the roll, we get nothing. So we got those 3 38s. Having those 3 38s, I have the 3 people fulfilled that I needed to get fulfilled on the 38s from the last roll who didn't have a chance to get them. What would that be? Let me go back and take a look. It would be Brian Pruitt, Midnight Silver Run, and who else? There was somebody else, wasn't there? Was it Yoan? No? So I got them at $10 a piece. So I get one to Brian. One to Mr. Pruitt. And then there would be one for... Who else was up there? Help me out, people. Now one for him. Let's see, one for Brian. Midnight Silver Run wanted one. So yours would be at $10. And then there was one other person, I thought, who wanted one of these that did not end up getting into the bidding at the end, or ended up being shorted in the bidding in the end. I thought I'd be able to immediately figure out who that was, but I guess there was only 2 people involved in that. Now, there was Yoman. Yoman had bid a 13. Yoman, you still want one of these? So I got one for Sir Gold. He already got one. So I got 5. I got 6 altogether. Out of these 2 rolls, I've got 6 altogether. Joe got one. Deanne got one. Sir Gold got one. And then out of this roll, so far it's been Brian Pruitt and Midnight Silver Run. And, oh, it was Hawkeye. Okay. Okay, Hawkeye. That's where I was going with that one. Hawkeye, you'll get the last one out of this roll. And that's all I've got for now. That's all we're doing for now. An inch in 30 minutes? Where are you, Midnight? I can't remember. I've sent packages to you plenty of times. What state you live in? Jess, when are you going to schedule that auction for the All Morgan Dollar auction? Northern Illinois, I imagine. He's next to you. So you guys are getting the snow together. You guys can play in it together and leave me out of it. I'm good. You can take a picture of me out there with you if you want to. Just make sure I have a coat on. And a ski mask. And mittens. Timothy Morrell, yes, I did. I got your email. I'm going to be looking around to see what I've got going on. I'm going to start working on packing this evening and tomorrow. I've got a big bunch of stuff that's going to go out tomorrow from the auctions from the last couple of weeks. I'm going to have all of the reveal coins separated, and I'm going to start mailing tomorrow. So there we are. So she says she doesn't know when that auction's going to be, no clue yet, but it will be soon. That's really cool. I would love to know when. That's going to be a fun one. I'll be there helping you call on that one. Sir Gold, that was Jessica talking. No, Midnight Silver Run and Jessica are both getting snow. That's where they come together. But otherwise, Jessica's going to have the Morgan Dollar auction, and Midnight Silver Run will be enjoying his snow. I'm trying, Tim. I'm working on it. Trying to get better, working on getting better, making sure that, well, I at least stay alive for another day. That's always my goal, to wake up the next morning. I feel okay at this point. I've had plenty of sleep. Sir Gold, I think what we're going to end up doing is giving everyone an email who is registered with us. We can't count on YouTube to give out registration or give out information on our feeds. It seems like the notifications doesn't seem to work very well. So we've decided to take it upon our own to send an email out to everyone, letting them know when our next video is coming up. Well, Jess, I think it would probably be a pretty good idea if we got it out there and made sure everybody knew about it and give them a couple of weeks to come up with some funds because, well, there's a lot of Morgans in this and there's going to be a lot of money flying around, I'm sure. It's not 25-cent pennies, that's for sure. Thank you, Midnight. And I do understand that. My wife is going to come home and start taking care of me now. She's actually going to figure out something that we're going to do for dinner. I'm probably going to do the cooking, but she's going to do the figuring. All right, well, I've been on this long enough. I may do another one later on this evening, but I'm not sure. I've already got 3 rolls sitting out here now. So I appreciate everyone coming by. I appreciate everything that everyone has put into this evening. You guys are awesome people. And I am going to go ahead and go. I do plan on having the auction on the 1st, which is Friday. It's going to start at 1 p.m. It's going to have a whole bunch of Lincoln cents in it, and all of them are going to start at a quarter. I'm going to start them at a quarter and move them up from there. 25-cent increments up to $5, 50-cent increments to 10, dollar increments to 20, probably dollar increments up to 50, and then $5 increments from 50 on up. I'm thinking about instituting new increment levels, but I don't want to do that because it would confuse people. So we'll do 25 cents up to $5, 50 cents up to $10, and then a dollar, or I'm sorry, 50 cents up to $20, 50 cents up to $20, then a dollar up to 50, then $5 to 100. Yes, I have PayPal and the shipping. You talking about on these coins? If you don't have anything else that I've already charged you shipping on that I owe you, then shipping will be $3 for these. But my intent is probably to try to let them sit until you have something else to ship, because I really don't want to have to charge shipping on these. But I mean, if you got one each of these, $3 isn't too bad for shipping. So you can, I guess you can let me know if you want me to go ahead and ship these coins that you've gotten here today, or if you want me to let them sit until after the 1st, and then you can show up at the auction on the 1st, and then I can just combine what I've got here with the shipping that you'll be paying for your auctions then. Yeah, it'll be fine. You can just go ahead and pay the invoice when you get it today, and then they'll be in my sheet where I need to send them to you. I've recently changed the way I handle my items and my shipping. I was trying to do it using the PayPal invoices, but it got too confusing because I was splitting invoices too much. And I was sending you part of an invoice, and then part of an invoice, and then part of an invoice. And that would be basically, one part of the invoice would be the auction items themselves, then the other part of the invoice would be the normal coins from the reveals, and then the other part of the invoice would be the varieties from the reveals. And I decided, instead of using PayPal invoices to send stuff, I'll use the PayPal invoices to bill. But then when I send stuff to you, there's just going to be a packing slip that has all the items that I'm sending to you, not everything from the invoice that you paid for. And then I will keep track of what has not been sent to you, so that next time I get ready to ship something, I can ship you another lot of items that have to do with previous invoices. And that's really the best way for me to be able to handle it. Okay, Hawkeye, I'll do that. I am going to put all these in flips that will give you the die numbers. I did not do reveals 233 and 236 yet. I didn't really want to be on for very long, so I didn't want to do reveals yet tonight. I'll probably get to those tomorrow. I don't have any other reveals for sale today, so if it takes me the next few days to do the 2 or 3 reveals I owe you, then I can live with that idea. But I'm going to try to get them done tomorrow. I appreciate it, Midnight Silver Run. Well, folks, I am going to take off. I need to take off and start getting things ready for the wife to get home. I do appreciate you guys coming. It's been a very interesting time, and it's been really fun. And heck, I mean, this could be as popular as the, or possibly eventually be as popular as the reveals, and that would be a very nice thing. So you guys have a great evening, a great night, and I'll see you guys tomorrow if I can get these streams on there for tomorrow. I appreciate it. Have a good night.